Welcome, students of South Harmon. Please take a seat and get ready for today's lesson in redraft dominance. But before I dive in, you better be subscribed to the South Harmon FF YouTube channel. And if you're not, please take a second to fix that mistake. Okay, class. Today we are talking about sleepers. Not just the ones that your cousin Susie already knows about. I'm talking about the sleepers that aren't really being spoken about right now. And these are the players that will help you crush Susie, Gary, and your boss Nelson, and everyone else in all of your leagues. If you have any questions or thoughts or comments, please leave them in the comments so they can be answered. Students of South Harmon, class has begun. Kick that intro.
Final round. Fight. Finish him.
The first sleeper that I'd like to talk about in today's lesson is Jalen Polk, wide receiver from the New England Patriots. He's being selected at 165.1. Somewhere in the 13th, 14th round, he's being selected as the 69th Nice. Wide receiver. And if you're not familiar with my boy Jalen Polk, allow me to get you up to speed. He is a 6'1", 200-pound receiver from the University of Washington. Last year, he had 69 very nice catches, 1,159 receiving yards and 9 tutties. New England picked him with the 205 in this year's draft. In 2023, he showed a bunch of versatility. 41% of the snaps came from the slot and 59% came out wide. And with the second round selection, it's clear that Jalen Polk is going to be utilized quite often in New England. Matter of fact, I was at the first day of training camp and more than half of his reps came with the ones, and he's just continuously trended in that direction, playing with the ones, getting reps with May, and he's also making plays with both Jacoby Brissett and Drake May. It seems as if the Patriots will use him all over the place, which leads to a nice clear path for him potentially being the number one wide receiver in New England. The new offensive coordinator, Alex Van Pelt, he was in Cleveland last year. Cleveland was 5th in team passing plays per game and 6th in pace of play. So there could be more targets to go around than initially projected. I'm trying to think of a comp here for the first year receiver, and Jacoby Myers comes to mind. Last year, Jacoby Myers went for 71 catches, 807 yards, added 8 touchdowns. That was good for about a win over replacement, which is 28th amongst wide receivers, and was wide receiver 24 in fantasy last year. Doesn't seem like too high an expectation for a rookie like Polk to achieve. Operating as New England's wide receiver 1, I think this is a fair projection and a smash given his current average draft position. If you like Bobby Trees,
you want to get high?
If you liked Robert Woods, you're going to love yourself some Jalen Polk. The second sleeper that I'm going to talk about in today's lesson is Darnell Mooney, the new Atlanta Falcons wide receiver. He's being picked right around 161, somewhere in the 13th round. Coming off the board is wide receiver 64. Mooney, he's kind of like those videos that you see of these unassuming guys walking up to these babes, and the babes tell him to piss off, and then he walks to his car and ends up being a Lamborghini or a Rari, and all of a sudden the babe is a bit more interested.
Oh, you gotta give him that huck too and spit on that thing.
It's one of those don't judge a book by its cover type of lessons, I guess, if you want to call it a lesson on YouTube or TikTok or wherever. But Darnell Mooney seems like a scrub, but the guy just got paid. The Atlanta Falcons extended a 3-year, $39 million deal. 26 of it is guaranteed. The Atlanta Falcons showed a bunch of confidence in bringing in Darnell Mooney. This deal is one of the more lucrative ones when you're talking about wide receivers who actually switched teams. teams. Matter of fact, Kirk Cousins, who is the projected starting quarterback, personally recruited Mooney to the squad. He's projected to man the slot in an offense that should be amongst the tops of the NFL this year. New offensive coordinator Zach Robinson is coming from the Sean McVay coaching tree. All that indicates a very pass-friendly attack that will lead to a ton of fantasy points being scored. Darnell Mooney, he's coming off late, like I said, as wide receiver 64. It's coming off the board after wide receivers like Mike Williams, Khalil Shakir, and Quentin Johnston. But when you look at his 2024 season, you can see a guy who finishes in the top 30 in air yards. And when you pair that with a player that has the skill set to separate down the field, he could be a player for us in fantasy. A guy that's about one warp, which when you look at the production last year, would be about a top 30 in fantasy football. Someone like a Tyler Lockett. And again, getting him at pick 64 makes it a great value. You can get a great return on your late investment of Darnell Mooney. And just like the Babe, don't make the same mistake by rejecting a winner.
Oh, you gotta give him that huck too and spit on that thing.
The third sleeper that I'm going to talk about in today's lesson is the first running back on today's list, Jalen Laube from the Las Vegas Raiders. This rookie has been on my list. I've been intrigued by Laube for months. And fantasy football is starting to catch up, so please take advantage while you can. Do it before it's too late. Pick up Jalen Laube before the rest of your league gets hip to the rookie. His ADP right now is coming off the board right around 239.8, somewhere in the 19th or 20th round, as running back 71. Let's talk about Jalen Laube. Okay, he's 5'10", 210 pounds from UNH, baby. Shout out to New Hampshire. And his catch passing prowess, say that 3 times fast, catch passing prowess. See, can't even do it 2 times straight. Pass catching prowess was the single most dominant trait amongst all running backs in the 2024 class, and I'm not exaggerating. In 2023, the University of New Hampshire went to go play Central Michigan. In that game, Laube had 12 catches, 295 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. That performance right there reminds me of Agent J from Men in Black. Despite being a terrible interview, he was the guy for the job because he caught that alien. That performance is burned into my brain. As a player that has immense pass catching abilities, and he's right now in camp, he's getting a lot of love from players and coaches for the Raiders. Matter of fact, this is what his offensive coordinator Luke Getsy had to say about the rookie.
Could you see a rookie like Jalen Laube kind of making a compelling case to get on the field sooner rather than later?
Yeah, I hope so. And he's off to a great start. Like I said, like the game comes natural to him. He's got a great feel for it. So like decisions he has to make, they come to him naturally. As far as responsibility wise, he doesn't have the airs, and so that's really cool to see from such a young guy.
Due to being an absolute stud in the passing attack, Vegas Nation is already reporting that the rookie running back is getting 3rd down reps with the first team offense. And this Raiders running back room is less than stellar. He will get significant touches at some point this season as long as the kid can stay healthy. Wake up, students of South Harmon. It's time to stop sleeping on Jalen Laube. The 4th sleeper that I'm going to talk about on today's lesson is Tyler Conklin, tight end for the New York Football Giants. He's currently being picked at 170.2 in the 14th, 15th round as the 21st tight end off the board. This is a big reason why everyone tuning into this video really needs to be using the Warp Tool. You can find that Warp Tool, matter of fact, at southharmonff.com. Because when you use wins over replacement, you realize that pretty much all tight ends are replaceable. So in redraft formats, you can wait on a player and still crush your league. Conklin is being drafted right now at his absolute floor late in the drafts. He's played every single game since 2019. Over the last 3 years, he's had exactly 87 targets in each season, but just 6 touchdowns in that span. He's hovered around tight end 20 with 0 touchdown production, and that's his ADP floor right now. But now we're adding another player. All of a sudden, you look at that offense, it's being held down by Aaron Rodgers, a quarterback that is very friendly for his tight ends. Robert Tonyan comes to mind, and that means that Tyler Conklin has 7-8 touchdown upside. You'd have to be on a darkness retreat at this point if you're going to keep sleeping on Tyler Conklin. The fifth sleeper on today's list is another rookie, Jalen McMillan, wide receiver from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who let the dogs out? Am I right? That was lame. That was worse than me singing last week. But anyway, 2 Washington Huskies are on this sleeper list, currently being taken off the board at 205.6 in the 17th round. Real late pickup here as wide receiver 82. McMillan didn't have a big season statistically for the Huskies in 2023, but the kid is uber talented and he does have a 1,000-yard receiving season under his belt at UW, and that's a big reason why Tampa Bay did not hesitate to select him in the 3rd round. The drumbeat for the rookie continues to get louder and louder at Bucs training camp. Don't believe me? That's fine. This is what Todd Bowles had to say about him.
He's another one having a great camp. He's a good football player. Since he's come in, he's made them play since day one. He's very intelligent. He wants to be good. He wants to learn. The receiving group loves him, and he continues to get better and better. I like where he's at. He looked just like he looked out of pads. He looked good then. He looks good now.
If McMillan continues to stay in that wide receiver 3 role for the Bucs, I think you could cut his ass and move on, to be quite frank. And given his post-200 ADP, it's really not going to hurt you all that much. But if something happens to Mike Evans or Chris Godwin, McMillan will become a 1.1 warp type of player as long as he keeps that role. And that's going to give you top 20 running back value. So it doesn't really matter what you do. You can cut him. You can trade him for a running back. You can start him. Doesn't really matter. Wake up, people. It's time to start taking Jalen McMillan at the end of our drafts. The 6th and final sleeper that I'm going to talk about in today's lesson is Jordan Mason, running back from the San Francisco 49ers. His ADP data, well, it's not there because he's not being drafted currently. There is no round in which he's being drafted because he's not being drafted. And we don't know what running back he is coming off the board because he's not being drafted. But that presents a potential value boom, considering you can get him at the end of your drafts. And let's learn from his teammate, Brock Purdy. Players taken with that last pick in the draft can turn out to be a valuable member, a massive cog in the machine to your winning a championship. That's all I'm going to say. Jordan Mason is getting high praise from his head coach, Kyle Shanahan, and he is tracking to be currently the Christian McCaffrey handcuff. This is what Christian McCaffrey had to say about the closer.
He's improved so much in the first time I've met him. Just the way he is in the meetings, the way he is out of practice. I think our whole running back room has such a good energy to it right now. You know, we're all pushing each other, making each other better, but also being there for each other. And it's a really fun room to be a part of because, you want to talk about guys forcing you to be at your best. Every single one of those guys right now are doing just that, and makes it fun to be a part of.
To call him Mariano Rivera, has he become a more complete running back now?
Mariano Rivera. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I was like, damn, when did I say that? Yeah, man, I think he looks way more complete than he has been. He's always been able to do it. It's just being consistent with it. And I think you see now he's making things happen in the pass game and the run game that are just consistent with it. So I think he can pitch every inning now. Yeah,
hip and take Jordan Mason at the end of your draft. And don't take it from a jabroni like me, but you should. You should listen to Kyle Shanahan and Christian McCaffrey. Jordan Mason, Jalen McMillan, Tyler Conklin, Dylan Laube, Darnell Mooney, and Jalen Polk. These are the 6 sleepers that nobody is talking about. Wait, hold up, everybody. The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you. So, make sure you subscribe to the South Harmon Fantasy Football channel, smash that like button, leave a comment for the algo, and make sure you visit southharmonff.com today. Okay, now you're dismissed.